This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Episode 98 of the IT in the D Show is entirely brought to you tonight by Squarespace.com. It is so easy to build a beautiful website, even Bob can do it. Check them out online, Squarespace.com. Use coupon code IT to get 10% off your purchase. Again, Squarespace.com. Build it beautiful.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Live from the IT in the D studios above Activate Gaming in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan, it's the IT in the D Show.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
It's I Love the 90s, and this is 1998.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D Show.
Steve Eiserman, let's do it again. Come get the Stanley Cup.
There is fate, but it only takes you so far because once you're there, it's up to you to make it happen.
Dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly.
Come on.
Someone tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the D Show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to IT in the D Show. Wax on, you know what.
What the hell is happening? I blew up the building. Why? Because you made a phone call.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I'm the president. I'm the emperor. I'm the king. I'm Michael Jackson. You Tito.
I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei!
Is that hair gel?
Yeah.
Great. I can use
No, you don't have to. You don't.
I just ran out.
Hey, guys. Just shut up about the weed for 2 seconds, all right? I don't want this girl to know I smoke.
Yeah, it's bad enough you a janitor, yo.
Custodian, dick.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. IT in the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
Bob, in all my years of calling games, I don't think I've ever been this excited.
You're excited? Feel these nipples.
Things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
We got screwed at the same time. Yeah.
Because girls are the devil.
You imagine that we shared some intimate moment that you have probably been drooling over for the past 4 years.
We can just take a drive around and make out. I love making out. And I don't mean to brag, but I'm really good at it.
Right. Sounds good.
While my answers were legally accurate, indeed I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate.
He nailed me. He knew exactly what I was after.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
That woman is a devil.
This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
We are faced with the very gravest of challenges. The Bible calls this day Armageddon.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Last year, I spent more money on spilled liquor than you made. Woo!
So that's what opening up a can of whoop-ass feels like.
Good morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
First he was Jesse the Body Ventura, then he was Jesse the Mind, and now he's Jesse the Governor.
His dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
continuing to have the longest intro in the history of the podcast universe. Welcome to the IT in the D show. This is episode 98, the June 29th edition. We are hanging out in our own, there's still brand spanking new studios. I don't care what you say.
It still has that new podcast smell.
It does. We're above Activate Gaming in the TriNet corporate offices in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy. Always here with Dave the Geek, joined tonight by Dr. Hook Jeremiah from
and
Daily
a room
Detroit.
full of people.
And a room full of people. We had to pull chairs in from outside. We have 3 awesome guests for tonight. Segment 2 will be joined by Victoria from Hatch, Detroit. This is your 3rd time on the show. Talking about
it's more than it's her 3rd year back.
Her 3rd
She's
year
been on
back.
more than 3 times.
We're talking about the.
We haven't scared her off yet.
The 50,
and we've tried
really hard. You even lost her keys, Dave.
I'm
No. We did not lose her keys.
To scare me.
Her bra lost her keys. Let's be clear.
We'll get to that story in segment 2. Segment 3, we're
remember that.
Segment 3, we're actually joined by the CEO of Rocket Fiber, Mark Hudson, talking about the new company that they're deploying downtown. And we're actually joined in studio by Andrew, the man expert from the Dave and Chuck the Freak Show. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We're going to have you during the whole show, so we look forward to
the wacky mayhem that will ensue.
Wacky mayhem, as always. Here's the thing, Dave. You remember, we talk about Squarespace all the time, and I ventured into site number 2 in my Squarespace life.
You're building another website?
I'm building another website. So
I'm afraid to know what this website is for.
No, it's just for my German club. But, I started tinkering around with mine, too, and I swear to God, like, usually, just to give a backstory, if I ever need anything technical done, I always call Dave. And I... Always. And it got to the point...
Including turning on his television.
Including... My Wi-Fi isn't working. Well, if I need a website done, I got to call Dave. And honestly, as soon as I got introduced to Squarespace, it took me a day to kind of tinker with it and figure it out. I just nailed my second site today. It is by far, it's so easy, even Bob can do it. That's me.
That's the official tagline.
It is.
It is so easy, Bob can do it.
But, I figured out, it integrates with everything you do as far as social. So it automatically forwarded from GoDaddy, so I connected my GoDaddy accounts.
Right.
I got like 7 or 8 social buttons from everything from SoundCloud down to the Facebooks and the Twitters. Integrates with that, so the whole connect thing. It brings in RSS feeds from the blog. I mean, literally, it was drag and drop. It was the easiest thing I did. But hey, we've teamed up with Squarespace. If you want to give them a try, you get a free trial for 14 days. Afterwards, use coupon code IT. They're going to give you 10% off your year order. It's cheaper than hosting, and you get a rock star website. Looks like a professional designed it, and you can laugh behind your breath and say you did it, because I did it. And trust me, if I could do it, you can. But yeah, check them out. Squarespace.com/ coupon code IT.
Yeah.
And it is so worth it. I'm ecstatic of the work I've done. I'm not gonna lie. So how was your weekend?
My week was a lot better. So last week was the week that the conservative or the ultra conservative religious Southerners had the worst week ever last week.
They did.
So we had the Confederate flag come down. We had Obamacare upheld. And we had the Supreme Court that same-sex marriage is legal.
Good on all.
Lot of real unhappy people in Alabama.
Here's my take, and I'll say it to you. And I had a talk with my dad about it. All of those things, not one thing will change how you get up tomorrow morning.
It doesn't impact my life at all. It's like we've always said, dude. If you're mad, like being mad about same-sex marriage is roughly the equivalent of being mad because you're at Subway and you get a club sandwich on wheat, and the guy behind you gets like a meatball on white. It has no impact on your life whatsoever.
You ate a donut because I'm on a diet. Right. So here's where it gets weird, though. So I was in Holland this weekend for a wedding.
Like the country?
No. Michigan.
No wooden shoes?
No. Yeah,
I would love to see Bob in wooden shoes in his underwear.
Oh.
I used to be a Klumpen dancer in college.
We'll talk about that in segment 2.
Anything like crump dance? No.
No, but like, so
what's the club?
friend of mine was holding hands with a girlfriend. She's a lady, and she's attractive. It's not like one of those ones that look like me, like from Orange Is the New Black, right? She's an attractive lesbian, and like a 10-year-old kid going, "We don't agree with gay men," screams it in the street, and she like just like comes back with a sad face. Like, who cares what their parents are the ones that
Exactly.
you know.
Go tell your parents they suck at life and fail.
The kid's ice cream isn't going to taste any worse because of their whole. You know, it's like, come on. Like, you had to do that. They're dressed real pretty.
The
for the
dodgeballs
wedding.
are still going to be properly inflated. You're not going to have. Yeah, it's not going to radically impact your life at all.
Right, exactly. But, you know, again, it's not the whole, you know, the whole flag thing. That's the thing that's even dumber is because now everyone's feeling the pressure. So now Apple's pulling.
That's the part. Like, I'm not going to lie. That's the part that bothers me. It's all the revisionism that's going on right now. It's, you know, let's go back, and Apple is pulling all of the Civil War games, you know, from the App Store because they have a Confederate flag in them. The General Lee, all of the Dukes of Hazzard toys are getting pulled because they have the Confederate flag on them. And I'm sorry, but I defy anyone to show me a single Dukes of Hazzard episode that had a racist, homophobic, otherwise negative connotation to it beyond the, you know, subtext of, yeah, they might be nailing their cousin Daisy, but we'll pass that. But
now they have to like blur it out, you know.
Right.
But you can. But all the Nazi movies are still gonna. They're still gonna sell that
that's
stuff.
the best part. So yeah, all the retailers. Hey, you know, Amazon, Walmart, everybody else. Yeah, we're pulling all Confederate flag merchandise. eBay, everyone. Yet you can still buy a Nazi flag. Yet you can still buy, you know, all of the other, you know, or hey, there are some people that are now starting the genre of, hey, you know what? So let's talk about the United States flag and the Trail of Tears and the Native Americans and all of the oppression and evil that goes along with that.
They only have tears when you throw garbage on the highway next to them. Then
It's only you.
Right. Sorry. No, but we had a lot. You know, like with my family, it was you did not want to say that you were German for a very long part of my, you know, pretty much until my generation. You did not speak of your last name. Might have been, most of them changed it. So like, yeah, then this stuff comes out and they're like, oh yeah, you got problems. Right. You know, and the Southern's like heritage. I'm like, heritage, you're born in this country. Heritage is your, you know, where you, I don't even.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like my whole thing is I've never truly. So I mean, I grew up for a good chunk of my life in Virginia. So I mean, I was around a lot of good old boys that had the Confederate flag and all that kind of stuff. And I've always said two things. One, I've encountered far more racists ever since I moved away from the South than I ever did when I was living there. But two, I never understood the whole celebrating a losing effort. Because I mean, let's be honest.
They lost.
You lost. Well, you got your asses beat. You had to sign the little surrender flag. Dude, your general's house got turned into Arlington Cemetery. Like that's how far they went with that.
Isn't that what Cinco de Mayo is, though? It was like a fight between like 4 guys and 2 guys, and like the 4 guys won, so now they have a holiday for it.
I wasn't aware that was even a real thing. I thought it was something Budweiser.
It was like the Battle of Pueblo, Colorado. And like, I don't know. And like seriously, there was like 6 guys. Like they won a bar fight, and now it's a holiday.
Nice.
But it's the same thing. Yeah, it's like we lost the war. Southern pride. It's like stupid idiots. Next topic.
The
I hate
South
talking about
shall
it.
rise again. No, it won't.
But you know what? Here's my thing.
I double dog dare you. Go ahead.
With the gay marriage, the first thing that popped up in my head is I couldn't be happier because daytime television in 2 years is going to
get so much better.
When Gay Divorce Court hits the 4 o'clock airwaves on Channel 2, I am going to set my DVR and it's going to be the best show ever.
No, you're going to quit your job. You're just going to sit there and just watch it.
Oh, like on repeat. I can't
go to work today. Why? I've got like 14 episodes of Gay Divorce Court.
Tell me that's not going to be the best show ever. Like, seriously, so think about yourself. That's what I think, right? Like, I'm not, they're getting married. No, they're going to make awesome television on Divorce Court.
Who get the kids?
I don't know.
Who get the kids now? That's what I want to know.
I don't.
Who you pay child support to?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because there's no default anymore. Because it's always mom wins.
Right. Where child support go to?
Yeah, there's
the fem's gonna win.
Whoever got the capri pants.
Right. The one that shows up with the most product in their hair gets the child support.
Right, exactly. No, like Adam, American Divorce Association for 2 men. It's gonna get changed. There's marketing. There's so many different ways we can do this. I can't even.
So we have to give a shout out to Eric, who just made the pilgrimage from his house to Falling Down Beer Company to the studio to bring us a new keg of beer.
8:30 kegs blown.
Well, 8:30 after several weeks.
8:30. No, 8:30. Kegs blown. It's like I'm on my way. We have a fresh new keg of falling down beer.
And I did. I told him whatever's going to wind up making his girlfriend happy, because she's not happy apparently currently that he's here and not there. So it's like, well, is there a concert she wants to go to that we can hook up?
Right. We'll figure something out, but we appreciate you coming down.
So yes, as always, Falling Down Beer Company, love them. But so that was last week. Last week was the ultra conservative religious Southerners that were having the worst week ever.
What about Friday, Dave? Friday was probably our worst day in a long time.
No, Friday was our busiest day in a long time.
No, you want to know why it was the worst? Because we couldn't get the most amazing show ID drop for the beginning of our show that would have made this show the most amazing show ever.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm so angry they said no.
There was much anger. So
I'm more angry than Andrew McCarthy.
So for those who were paying attention, so Friday night we were double booked. We went and did a live broadcast from Social Media Day Detroit.
Awesome venue. I've never been to Soundboard before. That's such a cool place.
It was a great event. We were at Motor City Casino, had a great time, had a blast, and then so we wound up talking with Sola, who was on the show on last Monday, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll absolutely hook you guys up with T-Baby. Life's good."
So if you don't know who T-Baby is, she's the girl that sang "It's So Cold in the D" from like way back in the day, and
so,
then Beavis and Butthead made
our
us being
dream
famous.
Was we wanted her singing "It's IT in the D." That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted.
So we went up.
You heard the intro. It's all drops and clips. I mean, that's what we do. That's who we are.
So Sola introduces us to her handle. I don't even want to call him a manager, her handling guy. And we told him, hey, we're just doing a podcast called IT in the D. It would be so money if we just had her say, hey, this is T-Baby, and you listen to IT in the D, right? And it would have been great. And he's like, yeah, call me. We're like, no, we got to record.
No, there's no call.
We have a thing.
There's no let's talk next week.
No.
They'll
be mocking on the air if there's not anything done right now.
Yeah, because all he's managed to do is get us talking smack about her. Yeah,
but like
3 days later,
they did a live concert with her, and yeah.
No.
It's kind of like one of those things. I was talking to someone about it. She goes, she thinks you were making fun. I go, when you're William Hung, do not profess that you're an artist, right? You're on stage.
You own She Bangs,
right?
And you just run with it.
Make them smile, because that song makes them smile. But no one's sitting there going,
"It's the
no one's going, she's Beyonce good." Look, no one.
It's the same conversation we had about the one-hit wonders. Shut up. Play the song, move on.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Just say the catchphrase, kid. You're not here to wax poetic.
Yeah, dear John Schneider from the intro, who desperately wanted to talk about anything other than Dukes of Hazzard. We were like, no, nobody cares about the new stuff. Just play the classics.
Just say "Good Old Boys" and shut the hell up. Just for crying out loud. So yeah, our show's missing the most wonderful intro ever, but we'll live. Life will go on.
Life will go on. So yeah, the Southerners had their worst week last week, but rapidly shaping up is Donald Trump to have the worst week ever this week, and it's only Monday. Donald Trump has so far managed to lose NBC. They have fired him from The Apprentice. WNBC. He has lost Sábado Gigante Internacional for Univision for the Miss Universe contest.
Yep.
And today there's a letter that's floating around that I swear I pray for his sake is fake. See, that's been picked up by every news outlet and reported as true, where he's basically blasting the Mexicans, the Mexican government, and when I become president, there will be a giant-ass border erected, and all those jobs are coming back to America, and screw you, Mexico, and way to go, Captain Hairpiece.
See, the letter that he wrote that banned Univision employees from his golf course is something you wrote. So when you sent it and said, "There's no way this is true," I go, "That's totally something you would do."
That's exactly what he would do.
I would have wrote it. But you know Donald Trump wouldn't have written it.
Ban me, ban you. I thought it was great. He went a little overboard with the whole Mexican thing, but the whole banning Univision employees from his golf course I thought was funny as hell. I'm sorry.
And shut down construction of the pathway and gate between their properties.
Exactly.
I'm just disappointed the letter from NBC didn't just read, "You're fired."
It should have.
Right.
Dear Donald, you're fired. Yeah, moving on.
So one of our favorite topics for at least like running for 3 months was always drones, and we always joked that the Amazon drones is going to be like skeet shooting with prizes, right? That was like our coin phrase.
Absolutely.
Because you see that thing flying over your house, you're like pulling out the 20 gauge. Right, exactly. Boom! And so help me God, someone got arrested and fined and thrown in jail
and lost a civil lawsuit
for doing just that.
Well, and here's what they went wrong, and this is what I was trying to point out earlier. So they shot down a drone that wasn't even over their property. Oh. It was a guy that like bought a drone, but like this like really nice $850 custom kit equipped drone, and was like whipping it around his like father's like apple orchard or something. And apparently, Jethro.
You thought it was carrying an iPad or something?
Because it decided that it was too close to his property, even though it was like 400 yards away, and had his 10-year-old son shoot it down with a shotgun.
That's awesome.
Well, and so the best part is so then the email exchange that resulted in this lawsuit came out and is now public. And so the email exchange was basically, guy whose drone gets shot down, being nice, being polite, trying to take the high road, like, hey, your kid's got great aim, that's awesome, pay to fix my crap. And, guy, next
So
door.
it's like Legend of Billie Jean?
Absolutely.
Fix my moped?
Fix my moped. and then guy next door is like, well, it was kind of flying close to my property, and you were like, testing out your surveillance equipment and yada, yada, yada. And the guy's like, I wasn't testing out crap. It was like, so here's the GPS coordinates of this and that, and this is where it went, and this is where it was. And then it got nasty, and then it turned into a civil case, and then it became a criminal case. So, yeah, he lost the civil case, and now he's about to go to jail because he decided to be a jag.
You don't own the air above your home.
No, but you do.
How?
It wasn't above the. It wasn't even above the
It
home.
wasn't above his house.
It was somebody else's yard.
It wasn't his property.
What if it was above his house?
Then I would assume it's fair game.
Then you could shoot down 747s that are above your house?
Well, and that was the interesting part of the conversation was that the FAA hasn't quite figured out how they're going to classify drones because technically speaking, if this guy gets held to the same standard as doing anything with a commercial aircraft, he's going to jail for 20 years.
Holy shit.
For shooting down an $800 drone.
That's not good.
But funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Like I said,
I was waiting for this.
Tragedy is when it happens to me. Comedy is when it happens to you.
It's kind of like that clown that said it's kind of like that clown that I forget what city he was in, but he did a hold my beer and he put a firework on his head and blew himself up and died.
Dude, that was just here. And seriously, dude, people.
And everyone's blaming Snyder for it.
People, it's that time of year. For the love of God, yes, fireworks are fun. Fireworks are entertaining. Just like driving a car, when you've hit a certain blood alcohol content, when certain things start to seem like a good idea.
Just say no.
Or more to the point, have better friends that will keep you from saying yes. That's the important part of that equation. Because, yeah, literally, he blew off his own head in front of his wife and children.
Yep. Wow. With a mortar.
With a mortar.
Like he put on his head.
But yeah, mortar. Yeah, I'm being funny. Lit it. Yeah.
It ain't lit. I'll put it on my head. See, boom.
Yeah.
Guess what?
And you're done.
And so, of course, just like all good, like all the high quality people, they go right to the Facebook message forum on Click for Detroit and for WDIV and Free Press. Got to read all these amazing, like, thanks, Snyder, as if they couldn't have bought it in Indiana last week, right? Passing a law that legalizes it killed people, right? So that's where we're going with this. So what the hell else is going on?
I'm not going to lie. So the news broke today that I'm still a little torn about, that Top Gun 2 is in progress.
No.
Yeah, that's happening.
No. Number one, it's not called Electric Boogaloo, which I have a serious problem with.
So is Maverick going to be like Tom Skerritt?
Apparently Maverick is going to be in the movie.
No, but he's going to be like Tom Skerritt's role.
He would have to be. You would think.
Right.
It's been 30 years.
Kelly McGillis looks like she got hit by a bus. I hope they don't cast her.
What about Val Kilmer?
Oh,
seen him lately?
Bring Val Kilmer back.
Oh my God! There you go.
He doesn't look so good.
Val needs to lay off the cupcakes if he wants to come back for Top Gun 2.
Oh, he got more than the cupcakes. He ate all the sister pies, I think. Good segue into Hatch Detroit. Oh yeah, no, Kelly McGillis too. Like, ooh boy, Like, yeah, that's gonna.
Get Val Kilmer playing volleyball again real soon.
Yeah.
Roll.
Which is sad because I just so it's on HBO right now, and I just watched Real Genius, and so Real Genius was basically peak Val Kilmer. It doesn't get any better Val Kilmer than
Top Secret.
Is that like a scientific term, peak Kilmer?
Like peak Kilmer.
Top Secret. Come on.
Just
new analytic. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
You want to know
on
the
the
word?
Marlon Brando way of looks. Val Kilmer.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
He's going to be in
He's
Apocalypse Now, the redo, like the Afghanistan version of Apocalypse Now. And there's Val Kilmer is going to be in the mansion at the end. The worst movie idea they're coming out with? Like, video game movies are either all in or they all suck. Dave, did you see they are remaking Rampage with The Rock?
I did.
And what in the blue hell? How can you write a movie from a lizard,
There's a lizard,
and a monkey,
a gorilla,
and I don't
And
know-
explosions. It's perfect.
and wasn't another dinosaur?
I don't remember what it was. It
Lizard, a gorilla.
I don't remember what it was.
The wolf.
And The Rock is going to be the guy climbing up the buildings and throwing bombs. I don't see
why.
I don't.
Why
know.
does it need a plot?
I don't know.
It doesn't.
Why does it need to be
no,
a
it doesn't need a
movie?
plot.
Why does it need to be a movie? Just play the video game and shut your mouth.
So I have to say the loser of the week award has got to go to whoever approved the marketing slogan that they're trying to get the Canadians women's soccer team to run with.
How did they not?
I don't know if you saw this. They had a big press release.
Banner.
It was a thing. There was a giant ass banner. I know where they were trying to go. I do.
I don't.
I can see it. It was like they had all the intent. Well, come on, go girls. But no, the slogan that they came up with for the Canadian World Cup team is "Come on, our girls."
Yes.
Okay, if you insist.
I'm like, okay. So was there a guy somewhere that was like, all right, we need to get guys who like hockey into women's soccer. How do we do that? I got it. I've got the slogan. It's totally going to kick ass. This is where we go. Come on, our girls.
Perfect.
How is there not like a 23-year-old production assistant that spits his coffee out the minute that gets, and then then they approve it in the boardroom, and then they go get printed materials up, and they're like,
and nobody at the printing company went, excuse me.
You know what it is? It's just proof how nice
sorry.
Canadians really are.
Right, sorry. But have you actually read your slogan? Sorry.
Everyone was so polite throughout the entire process that no one could raise a question.
Right.
Come on, our girls. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry for doing that.
Sorry.
Sorry. Really sorry.
Would you like a towel?
Yeah, and they got mad when Brittany Chastain ripped her shirt off after
Yeah, they'll really be mad now.
Oh yeah, they're all booted.
Right, exactly.
That was
all about a booty.
I guarantee that was it was two dudes in the back like, dude, I guarantee I can get Come On Our Girls. I like, no, you can't.
I'm gonna throw this in. Watch.
Greatest dare of all time
like-
in a meet. I can get Come On Our Girls.
It's like a Disney cartoon of sneaking in a penis
That
into
man
the
is
castles.
a legend.
Right?
That man is dying a little. Like, yo,
Yeah, he will never buy another beer on his own in the entire country of Canada for as long as he lives.
dude, Luke did that. Like that. It's like great grandkids are like, my granddad, Come On Our Girls. That was him.
So hey, I'll say. Speaking of that, we're gonna go up against a quick break. We'll be back.
Don't do that.
We'll be back at segment 2 with Victoria from Hatch Detroit. This is the IT and the D Show, and we will be right back.
Hey guys, this is Ty Mogg, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT and D Show.
If you're a reseller of IT solutions, the original equipment manufacturer should not be your strongest competitor. At Quantum, we understand the true meaning of partnership. We work with our channel to deliver industry-leading solutions together, all the time, not just when it's convenient for us. Heck, we don't even have a direct sales force. Quantum is looking for a few good partners. Call 586-745-4DXI to get started. That's 586-745-4394.
I wonder if she could tell.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Hey, and we're back. Segment 2, episode 98. This is the IT in the D Show. We're hanging out in our brand new studios. Right above Activate, I almost said the wrong, above Activate Gaming in the TriNet corporate offices. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek. Dr. Hook Jeremiah. I was going to say Dr. J. Find us online, itandthed.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on the Twitters. And if you have the Googles, to punch in Google Play Store, IT and the D, no spaces. And we have an app, which is a giant button that has a play button.
That's all it is.
That's it.
You know what we did not talk about, and dude, screw us. We have an event in 2 days.
Oh, we do.
2 days.
So we have
There's
an event.
so much going on, though, so I don't mind forgetting.
Yeah, exactly. We get all over the place. So we have an event Wednesday night, this Wednesday, July 1st. We will be at the Whiskey Bar that has just opened up inside of Grand Trunk. It's up on the second floor. It is outstanding. My buddy Tony runs it. It's going to be phenomenal. 5 o'clock start time, no cover, none of that usual nonsense, no speakers, no agendas, none of that crap.
No multi-level marketing.
No
buttholes.
MLM. We've spent 14
Dude, I sat
years
down at
kicking
an
them out.
event on that event on Friday.
Yep.
The first thing that happened to me, I sell insurance, and I'm like, oh, good. It was just like this is just one of those things. I was
Iron
like,
Maiden style, Jer.
I've been completely spoiled by you guys.
Run to the hills, run for your life. Run to the hills.
Hide your children. Hide your wife.
Exactly. So we are lucky enough to have for the third year. That's crazy to even say that.
Do we have a read before we get into this?
Oh, this segment is brought to you by
I'm
Online
not
Tech.
drinking. What the hell is wrong with you?
We don't have a read. No, you jumped in. This segment is brought to you by Online Technologies, cloud hosting, provider co-location, data security. Check them out, onlinetech.com. Awesome company, been around at least for the 20 years that I've been in this industry, and they will not let you down.
Cool.
Love those guys.
So yeah, for the third year in a row, we are lucky enough to have Victoria join us from Hatch Detroit, and you guys always are doing cool stuff. We had just gotten started with our podcast the first time you were on, and that was like one of our first good jumps in listeners. And then last year, we had you and the finalists on, and it was phenomenal.
Well, that was the episode I think we had like 16 people in the studio because everyone brought everyone.
Right. So
from
yeah,
all
we
the finalists.
just rotated through all the finalists, and life was good. And so this year we brought you out a little bit ahead of time because the actual application process is still going on.
Absolutely. So we're accepting applications until July 24th. And it's a really quick process, and we're going to be announcing a winner on August 28th.
And so for those who don't know, so what is Hatch Detroit? I mean, we know it's a really cool thing because, 3 years in. But for those who don't know, what is Hatch Detroit? What's it about? What does it do for folks?
So we're a nonprofit that focuses mainly on bringing independent retail and supporting independent retail in Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park. We have 3 areas of focus. One is our neighborhood initiative, which is sponsored by the Detroit Lions, and we go to 6 neighborhoods and really support retail and those existing retail. The second is our alumni program, and that is basically supporting the alums of the third arm of our programming, which is the Comerica Hatch Detroit contest. And this year we're sponsored by Opportunity Detroit.
Cool.
So that contest yields 10 potential entrepreneurs, and those 10 become our alums. And we actually really work hard to get all 10 of them open. But the winner of every year's contest gets a $50,000 prize from Comerica Bank.
That's crazy. Well, last year Batch won, right? Which is a brewing company.
2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, last year was
Sister Pie.
That's right. I got them backwards. So yeah, we just had Batch in actually, 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
And they were absolutely doing phenomenal. And it's crazy. It's not just you're not just handing them a check. They're getting consulting. They're getting.
And legal advice, and they're actually running a business. Here's how you do that in the city.
It's not like, I watched Bar Rescue yesterday, and it was a baseball player made $14 million. I'm going to buy a bar, and didn't know how to run one. And it was belly.
Kind of like hockey players around here.
No, there's one that's doing all right. Dino's doing all right. But no, that's what, they don't need just money. Like everyone says, hey, I need capital. Well, you need a lot more than that. You need basically to learn how to stay afloat.
Run a business.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. How to and the legal stuff is bigger too because someone slips and falls on your property, you need to know how to cover your ass. So I mean, it's a great thing that they're doing just to. So what are some our entries are open now? Is there any examples of things that are coming in yet? Can you talk about them?
Well,
or is
I guess that's the important part. Is
we'll
what kind of businesses are you looking for? Is there anything that's preferred? Yeah.
So, well, I mean, I have my personal preferences, but that doesn't come into mind. But what we really are looking for is a strong business idea, a very strong, budget. Personally, I'd like to see a lot more entries that are strong, that are traditional retail, that have more apparel options, that are a little bit more like goods being sold. More, Hugh, our first-year winner, has a men's goods store in the Cass Corridor, and he's doing a wonderful job. We've had a lot of food winners in the last few years, but we're really looking to see if we can also have some more of an apparel and retail focus.
Yeah, because I remember with the toy company, I think
he was awesome.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, but
great.
But last year though, you had two existing businesses and two kind of I want to start a. At what they weren't.
We don't really ever have an existing business. They may have been existing on
a smaller level or
not at a storefront. So our goal is bricks and mortar.
Okay.
So even if they have an online business or a pop-up, that's okay. But bricks and mortar is our goal. But we did have, through the contest last year, we've had, Busted opened up, and she was one of our top 10 lingerie companies. She now has two places, one in the Penobscot building and one at the Park Shelton.
Cool.
And awesome stuff. Yeah. So we're looking, we want to see a diverse group of people, a diverse group of entries. And really our goal is when we put the top 10 in front of somebody, we want to see those top 10 open. So we're going to do whatever we can do to make that happen. And the publicity alone from being a top 10 really pushes people. We've had almost 20,000 votes practically about, the contest. So the people are watching. So,
I was going to say, that's kind of the cool part of it. Is
Right.
So it's people submit these applications and all that stuff, and then, there's a decision process that goes on, and then it goes out to the public. Who do you want to see open
Right.
up downtown?
Who has the biggest social media following?
Right.
It's funny. It's not always
I'm kidding.
No, but people think
Who
that,
can
but
bribe
it's
the
not.
votefortheworst.com guys to
right.
So we're really lucky
Who can
this
get on the
year.
IT and the D show and pull?
We're really lucky this year, though, because I know we have a Quicken person here, but our announcement party is going to be again at the Madison Theater.
Okay.
Which is, we had it there 2 years ago when Batch was announced, and it's just a beautiful space. We're excited to.
Dude, that roof is outstanding.
I mean, let's just pray for no rain.
Yeah.
I mean, because if it rains, it's not going to be that great.
'Cause that's what God's
no
listening
offense,
to.
Dan Gilbert.
Right.
But it's going to be
Let
okay.
my team win and please no rain.
I know.
I want a pony.
But we have some great things that are going to go on this year. So I sort of sneak peeked at some of our applicants this time. I usually wait, and I looked at 35 of them today, and 35 out of were pretty damn awesome.
Well, I was going to say, so are you seeing more applications now than you have in the past? I mean, as word gets out and
It usually
places are opening?
We're seeing better applications, which I think is more important.
That's way
than
more important.
Because our goal also is not only to open those 10 businesses. It's we really want to push some of the really good applicants to the areas that they're better suited. So no matter
Right.
what we say about bricks and mortar, we always get food trucks. We always get pop-ups. We have them categorize themselves that way, and we're able to push that information to the people who want pop-ups and food trucks, trying to get more going on in the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, I guess, for those who are thinking about applying for this year, what should they keep in mind? What should they have in their back pocket? What should they know
Other than
before
their
they
wallet.
decide to do so?
So for me, no, I think the biggest thing that they need to do is make sure that they are able to articulate what their business concept is. It is really hard to do that. So I encourage people.
That was a
to
drawback
talk to
for
their
some of the
friends.
folks.
Yeah, talk to their friends. Let their friends read their applications. Make sure that they've tasted your product or wore your product or tried your product. And then the other thing is make sure that we have sample days listed. We really want to see samples. I think I mentioned before that one guy 3 years ago made a diorama, and I loved it. I was like, diorama's awesome. Like,
you have Star Wars figures in it and
No,
everything?
it did not.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sucks
It would
then.
have. It might have won if it
Right.
did.
It's all mine head.
But I mean, it's
Luke
like
with a Stegosaurus.
you know,
right?
you
Like-
can only put so much in writing, but we really, you know, you can't say my grandma says I have the best cookies on the planet. I need to taste those cookies.
Right.
And like I make the most beautiful clothing and my fabric's perfect, but I need to touch that fabric.
Well, one of the
we
things
need to see what, you know, feel what you're trying to do.
One of the things that caught me is, you know, we've been talking about the elevator pitch since we started the group, especially in the networking world, right? Be concise and own it, right? I don't care what you do, you own it in 8 seconds. And when we had all those, we've had 8 guests now on the show. I think 60% of them. Like, okay, so what do you do? Go
Figure. The ones who have had the best performances on this show
are the ones that nailed it.
are the ones that wound up winning.
Yeah, we're like, oh, that guy's winning. Or
You guys are like the Nate Silver of Hatch
Do a
Detroit.
total IT and the D, like
No, it's true. Batch and
Separate.
Sister Pie, like so. And
We walked out, they said those
we
guys are
never, we
winning.
never pulled you into these conversations. Batch and Sister Pie both. We walked out and we were like, "Yep, that's who the winner's going to
wow, we should do it like a little.
be." Sealed in an envelope and
Yeah. And see if you guys are right.
I'll officiate this.
It's
Let's
about
do it.
it's all about the concise pitch, though. If
It
you
is.
can't look at me in the eyes and I can see your pet,
and
like
tell me what you do.
quickly.
Currently, I can't look you in the eye. So
You got
do
the
believe
pop
my-
filter in your eye.
Do you believe my pitch?
Right. No, but if you don't have the passion and you can't just, bam, this is what I do and this is why I'm
We
the
are
best.
changing one thing this year, just
Right.
so that people don't get freaked out because they don't have the 8-minute pitch going on. Is that if you do make it to the top, 10 or
Right.
4, we are going to be working with our partners through Comerica at Franco Communications, and we're actually going to have
James?
like a little bit. I know it's not fun.
James
No,
Franco.
it would be really
Should
cool.
be.
Wouldn't that be really
Change
cool?
it. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be way better.
I know. Well, I can't
That's
say
Joey
that.
Lawrence. I don't know what that was.
Dan's pretty awesome. But what we'll be doing is at least giving them a heads up on how they should talk to the media, and then we're having advisors for them before their hatch-off presentation so that they can speak and say the things they're supposed to say rather than waste a lot of time and not say what they're supposed to. Because people get nervous.
They do, and like honestly, some of that's
I'm
kind of
nervous
how we
right
looked
now.
at it when like the 2 years now that we've had the finalists in. I mean, it was who knew their shit, like who was confident, prepared, knew it. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I mean, even Sister Pie above Batch, and we loved Batch. But dude, she came into our studio
nails
and
it
killed
every
all of
time.
us.
Well,
and
not
we were
only
like,
that,
and we were like,
she's
that's dude. We don't need to watch
She
anymore.
wins a crowd.
Yeah.
And
Well, that my take was, like, we need another pie place. Like, I need a hole in the head, but she just nailed the pitch. I'm like, yep, there's
Yeah,
she'll sell
okay,
it'll
we
work.
need pie.
It's on. Yeah, right.
And now I buy all the pie.
I went from
Exactly.
I do not need pie to I need pie.
Right, exactly.
And that is a good sale right there.
Right.
I don't even like sweets, and I need her pie. So
Yeah.
that's good. You know? Oh, I said something bad.
No, but that's, okay. So where do
I
people?
wasn't going to do that.
I was not going to get dinged. So where do people find out more about Hatch? Where do they find the application and all that stuff? And how much time do they have left?
So the end of the application process is July 24th, and everything can be found at hatchdetroit.com, including the application. And there's any information you need, but if you do need to have more information, you can always email us at info@hatchdetroit.com.
So I'm sitting at home right now, not me personally, but I'm listening. And, like, you know what? I got this bang up idea. How deep, how in depth, how does my business plan need to be constructed to even smell getting close to being a finalist?
So our process is far less than you would have to do to get a $50,000 loan from a bank. I mean, though we do ask for information. I guess.
Well, because we all know banks are evil.
I mean,
Right, all of them.
not Comerica Bank.
Not Comerica.
Just their CEO. Everybody else is fine.
No. So boys. But by the way, I know. I love when I make him laugh hard enough that he can't stop.
When I have to
Can't
back
talk.
away.
I know.
Just walk away.
But I guess the biggest thing is just to make sure that, we're going to be looking. We have a group, before you become a top 10, we have a group of really well-informed, like 40 people that look at every single application that we determine as staff to be like the top 25 or 30. And on that panel, we have bankers, we have business people, we have all kinds of things.
Well, you're checking viability.
So we really want to make sure that when we put the top 10 forward, that they're going to make it. So because once the public decides, any of them
it could
can
be
make
any
it.
of them. Yep.
So our biggest thing is making sure that you say what you're going to do well, that you show us a sample or an example of what you're doing, and then third, really think out your budget.
Cool. So it's hatchdetroit.com? Correct? Did I miss?
HatchDetroit.com.
Cool. That sounds, I'm thinking about submitting, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you to judge me for my product, not for me.
And you should make a Squarespace site for it.
I will, because I can now. It's crazy.
Because it's so easy a Bob can do.
It is. I need the Staples button with the B.O.B. on it.
So I guess like that's the thing. So it's okay. So there's the initial submission process, which lasts through the 24th. Then there's of July. Then there's all of the internal stuff that goes on. Then it's a
We'll be
publication
announcing.
of
Yeah, so
X.
we'll be announcing our 10 semifinalists August 13th.
Okay.
And then from there, voting starts immediately, and we basically announce there's 2 rounds of voting, one to get the 10 down to 4, and then the 4 basically...
on our show.
Right.
And then-
that's part of our internal calendar, is to make sure that they're on the show. And then the last round basically is the last night, and that's when on August 28th, when the first one...
Yeah, the
winner.
final, honestly, the finals
Give
thing
him the
last
big
year.
check.
Yeah, the finals thing last year at Ford Field was actually kind of cool. I mean, that was out in the atrium. That was a
Actually.
fun little thing to do.
Kind of cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just kidding. It was awesome.
No, I walked in expecting nothing, and it was actually kind of cool. I was impressed. I didn't know what to expect.
Planner. And Ford Field's a great partner.
It really is. So that worked out well.
Yeah. No, we're excited. So this year it's going to be awesome, too. I mean, we have a staged approach plan because at the Madison, they're going to be in an auditorium. And then the cool thing about this year is that because we're at the Madison, we're able to have our own caterers do the food and beer and wine.
Cool.
So Batch Brewing is going to be there brewing
Nice.
us a special beer. We have them also with their chef is cooking some things. We're working with La Feria. We're working with, Sister Pie, a lot of our alums that are going to be actually helping us in the process.
Networking.
It's crazy how that works. But hey, Victoria, we appreciate you coming out again and putting up with our hijinks. Look forward to when the Final Four. We look forward to having you back in studio with those are fun shows to do.
They
the
actually
pitches.
really are.
Absolutely, and we're going to be back in segment 3 with Mark Hudson, the CEO of Rocket Fiber. This is the IT and the D Show, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Welcome back. Segment 3, episode 98. This is the IT and the D Show. We're hanging out in our own studios above Activate Gaming in the TriNet corporate offices here in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek and Dr. Hook Jeremiah from Daily Detroit. Find us online, itandthed.com. Like us on the Facebooks and follow us on the Twitters. And if you have the Googles, find our app, IT and the D. No spaces.
Because we are all things IT and the D.
Because we are IT and the D, and you just still are not. Segment 3 tonight is brought to you by Pure Storage. If you have a legacy big iron storage array that is costing way too much money, give Pure Storage a look-see. Flash array, they are changing the enterprise storage world as we know it. PureStorage.com. Appreciate the support, and go check them out. But yeah, we are joined in segment 3 by the I need some entrance music, right? You need the King music. We have the CEO here, Mark Hudson of Rocket Fiber, brand new. I guess we call it a startup, right? A well-funded startup that's downtown that is bringing the internet to the masses.
I mean, like Elton John's Rocket Man that's now currently playing in the background.
Because I'm a rocket man. Oh, you guys need to, it's totally your intro music everywhere you go. Just have that following you like a mariachi playing Rocket Man. That would be amazing. But Mark, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you coming on the show.
What is Rocket Fiber, and what are you guys doing? And then let's go from there.
Sure. So 100 times faster internet, that's part one. Part two is our own cable TV offering. So we're going to have IPTV product that runs on Android. So imagine all the different apps that are available on an Android phone today. You'll actually be able to install those directly on your TV with Rocket Fiber service.
Nice.
So you're going to be able to do a lot of really interesting, unique things aside from having 100 times faster internet. And the other big area of emphasis for us is client experience and client service. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say that they were super happy with their internet provider in terms of
Not one.
Pat, how long did it take him to run internet over there to the new office?
I think it took 2 weeks to get them to say that it would take 2 weeks.
Yeah, the other company that shall not be named.
Exactly. So that's the
We've
current.
heard that before.
The current environment, the status quo. So our other area of emphasis is to create a white glove client experience where you're always going to be able to talk to a human. You're never going to be on hold. You're not going to go through a 6-step,
Whoever came
phone
up with
menu.
voice recognition menu systems needs to get punched in the throat.
Right.
Seriously, I hate them. Like, I'm okay with like pressing 1 or 2 and all that. Not like I'm good. Like, if you have an issue with your cable, say cable. No, just let me press 1. Kiss my ass.
No, I learned the secret sauce to that. Just yell representative over and over, and then you get to a live voice. Representative!
It does not work.
Is that your safe word,
It
Bob?
does not
Yes.
work.
That's
They've
getting-
caught on to your idea.
Right. Just press 0 for a... So are you guys doing, is it strictly focused on broadband right now? Are you moving to delivering an IPTV service? What's in the futures?
Well, yes. I mean, you're basically following, to some degree, the M1 rail line and dropping fiber down Woodward. What's next outside of that?
So, as I talked about at the start, we're going to go to the areas that have the highest demand. So whether that's Woodbridge or Boston Edison or East Jefferson, we're going to step back and evaluate what makes the most business sense, where we can make the biggest impact. So we're going to go to those areas of density. Beyond that, we have ambitions to go further and faster. So out to the suburbs, we've gotten a huge demand from Ferndale. Actually, is probably the number one suburb outside the city.
Really,
in terms of people that have signed up on our website. So Ferndale's kicking ass. Ann Arbor is doing well. Canton. So there's some other interesting opportunities outside of just the city itself that we want to take.
Because if you do a survey right now of probably 1,000 people and say, are you in love with your current, you're going to get 10%, 15%. Most of us don't change this the same reason we don't change our banks is because it's a giant pain in the ass. Let's be honest with it, because no matter who, like cell phones too, no matter who I get,
they're all going to suck on some level.
Service is going to suck.
Well, we had this conversation. Even if you want to cut the cord from a cable provider perspective, you still need the internet to hook into Hulu.
Thank you, William Shatner.
Yeah, no, you still need the internet. No, but you still need that. You still need the pipe. You still need the connection. I'll beat you to it. You still need the connection to be able to get to all of those apps and wherever else you're going to watch your shows.
And that's the thing is like you got idiots like me that every set-top box has a gig switch hooked off of it. I got 27 things that's hitting my Wi-Fi. It's like I need
all set up by Dave.
I knew it was coming before.
Why? Because Bob loves it in the kitchen.
I do.
So, so what stage is Rocket Fiber in right now? Like, are you actively deploying? Are you just looking for information and gathering data about where you should go next? Where are you in that cycle?
So we're doing both. So we're very much under construction right now. So we continue to do construction downtown. The good news is most of the stuff we're doing now is very low impact. We're using a technique called micro-trenching. Means we're not doing a 3-foot deep trench that's 2 feet wide and shutting roads down. So hooking up actually all the buildings downtown as well as building our data center. So that's a huge piece that's going on right now. That should be online by the end of the summer.
So speaking of that, are you going to where the Corktown data center? Are you part of that? Or are you guys building your own data center out? Or what's
we are building our own.
Very cool.
Yep. So that's been a whole interesting exercise in and of itself, but that should be online by the end of the summer. And we're targeting to have commercial customers online, or a commercialized product, so residential and commercial customers online by the end of the year. So a very ambitious timeline, so it's roughly a year and a half after the project started. In comparison, Google Fiber in Kansas City took like 2.5 to 3 years from the time that project was announced to the time it was online.
Well, I guess that's a good question. So are you primarily, whether intentionally or by default, focusing on business clients and then trying to figure out residential next, or just whatever's in the path of the pipe, that's where we go?
So we're very much doing both, and that's intentional. We figured that if you create a great experience for people at their home, they're going to want the same thing at their place of work. So if we offer a great residential product, that's going to translate into more commercial customers. And part of the idea behind Rocket Fiber was to build an ecosystem so that a startup or technology company could build a gigabit app and then deploy it to a residential customer base. So if we didn't do residential, you wouldn't have that in Detroit. Which to us would be a big selling point to the technology companies and entrepreneurs that we want to attract.
But if you look at too from a usage standpoint, Dave, you got to do both because from 9 to 5 you're getting all the business traffic,
right?
And then everybody goes home, turns on Netflix, and turns on their apps, right? So
and saturates even more bandwidth.
Correct. But I mean, also that's why you get like the massive download speeds and no upload speeds because nobody's pushing up. Nobody needs it. Where businesses is opposite because you're pushing FTP, right? That's why residential's cheaper that way. Where businesses need the upload speeds. Anyway,
true.
That's a great point. And something I forgot to mention is our gigabit speed is fully symmetrical. So it's a gigabit download, gigabit upload.
Really?
Where in a traditional cable type setting, you'll get 25 megabits down, maybe 3 up. We'll be
One
fully symmetrical.
half.
I thought the speed thing was really interesting, what you said about the speed of deployment. What about what you're doing increases that speed? I mean, everyone looks to Google as kind of the gold standard, but you guys are kind of lapping it. So, what about that? What about what you're doing is helping make this move so fast?
One of the biggest things for us has been we've had a tremendous partner in the city of Detroit. They've absolutely, been very, very cooperative with us. Normally, the permitting processes in a lot of municipalities you hear are a complete nightmare.
Getting right-of-way is a joke in most of the parts of the country.
It is next to impossible. I was actually out in San Francisco a month ago, and they were talking about, their internet service out there is not that great. This is Silicon Valley, and they can't deploy fiber networks out there because of the bureaucracy around permitting. In Detroit, where you kind of, we hit rock bottom, everyone's well aware of that, and we're coming back now, is this mentality and this mindset that we have to work together, we have to do better than we've ever done before. And I think we saw that firsthand when we went through all of our permitting and continue to do so working with the city. We need this. This is a differentiator for the city. It's a great selling point and a great attraction tool. So the city's been great in helping us build this thing.
Well, it's amazing how long it took. I remember we were talking this weekend over a beer, and I was telling you I was working on fiber to the home deployments back in like 05, 06. And the only ones that were pushing it out were the farmer telcos, the ILECs, because they had right away. They were owned by the muni. They were the monopoly, the only game in town. So they were able to do it. When you looked at a neighboring community or neighboring city, they couldn't because there was, again, the red tape, the bureaucracy, the garbage. And it's amazing that, 8, 9, 10 years later, we're finally getting there, and it's phenomenal.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we constantly hear about the red tape and the bureaucracy, about dealing with the city of Detroit. I mean, it's kind of refreshing to hear that you guys are rolling on through and getting things done.
Yeah, I think they got a team in there now that knows what they're doing and knows how to move things along. And that's part of it. The other part, we got some people on our team, my partner Eddie being one prime example, that have just been relentless on that front in terms of the permitting and construction and just refusing to take
paying off the Teamsters. No, I'm just kidding. You don't do that.
Just, refusing to take that we can't get it done within our timeline is an answer. So it's been balls to the wall from the very get-go of this project.
I got a question for you.
That's not an anatomical reference, by the way. In case anyone's wondering.
I'm not a tech guy here. I'm kind of outnumbered, but I'm wondering.
I'm just a simple, thought-out caveman.
I'm just a simple guy here, and all this. The high speed is great, but you guys are you guys working on like a really good customer service program? Because I think that's the thing that will really push you guys ahead, is having good people, a good system, a good way to like solve problems and get things installed and communicate with you guys and respond quickly. Is that something you guys are working on already?
Yeah, we're working really hard on that. That's actually, in our minds, that's our long-term area where we're going to be disruptive to this industry. We know the incumbent providers, given enough time, they certainly have the money to do it, will match us on our speed. So in the long run, we have to be better than they are in the client service realm, which is what we're working on. We got some really innovative, at least I think innovative ideas of what we can do there and bring some customer service things that you see in other industries to the telecom space.
Right on.
So I guess that begs the question, then what's next for Rocket Fiber? I mean, is it saturating downtown? Is it, we've heard a lot of stories or, half-baked ideas over the year about, hey, municipal Wi-Fi and, there'll be Wi-Fi for everyone when they roam around downtown. Like what's on the radar for Rocket Fiber?
So aside from the network expansion out to other areas, downtown we do want to do some unique things. One of the areas that we're excited about with Rocket Fiber, doing something a little different, is being kind of an innovator in a dense urban environment, meaning we can do things with Wi-Fi and DAS systems and public kiosk and things that you only read about in magazines as being possible, like a smart city concept. So by having that core fiber backbone, we're able to deploy Wi-Fi and other wireless technologies on that. So we're still very much in the formative stages of figuring out what that's going to look like, but the possibilities are pretty unlimited once you have the fiber infrastructure in place. A lot of exciting stuff there. We've got some pretty cool ideas, but not anything to announce yet.
Well, I think there's a sponsored ad on Facebook or somewhere that Netgear had come out with a mobile hotspot that hits the 4G network for food, specifically designed for food trucks and mobile businesses. So they can basically flip a switch when they park, and then boom, I got a Wi-Fi. Again, it sounds like that's stuff that you guys can do too, where one of the biggest pains of downtown is going to a ball game and you can't get the Wi-Fi to save your life, and you got all the incumbents in there and they can't fix it either. I see there's a huge opportunity if you can put out a seamless experience at a ball game.
If you can support 40,000 people all trying to upload a selfie from Comerica Park,
that's all I want to do is upload a selfie to Twitter.
And all the work Mark does is just so Bob can upload a selfie.
Lions games. They always like on the big giant screen. Hey, upload a selfie and hashtag it with this, and and then there's instantly no connectivity. It's physically impossible.
Right.
It's all about the selfie. It's like slow roll.
Right.
As Bob just said, one of the biggest bummers. You can't get on the internet when you're at the ball game.
Nothing. Like zero. It is. That's because I'm a stats guy at baseball games. I want to look at the stats because if I can't see the scoreboard.
There you go.
But does it honestly happen in other cities? Because I've been to places and I've never been able to get online when there's a big.
Oh no, it's a common issue.
Yeah,
it's not a Detroit problem. It's an everywhere issue.
I just want to make sure we're being
because again,
clear,
you have
it's not a
40,000 people all trying to connect from within a stadium.
There are very few stadiums in this country that have the wireless infrastructure to support that many people actively browsing the internet. Joe Louis Arena actually just deployed a system this last season that I thought worked great. I went to a couple games.
Yep.
I was also sitting right in front of the access point, so I don't even know if I'll be able to have children anymore. But the antenna was sitting right there, and I was pulling 30 megabits down on my phone, sitting there browsing the internet. So another notable example is out in San Francisco, their new 49ers stadium. They did a big press release where they said
that was a $1.5 billion stadium they built?
Something like that. They spent probably half of it on their wireless infrastructure. They actually ran fiber into the stadium.
Talk about surge pricing. That's what it, Yeah,
so they ran the fiber directly to all the different access points, and they didn't release the numbers, but it's like 300 or 400 different access points that are all directionally, they only point in a very small area. But that's the type of infrastructure you got to put into a stadium.
And you got to make it from the beginning. I was just on the District Detroit tour today, looking at all the plans for the new arena and all that kind of stuff. And all that stuff, they're really thinking about that stuff from like day one around infrastructure and stuff because it's just easier to build it in than to add it later.
User experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're paying insane, not insane for these corporations, but a lot of money for these suites and things like that, and they look beautiful. And what they want to do? They want to be able to take a selfie with their customer, or all the other bells and whistles for technology are no good unless you've got connectivity.
Hashtag or death, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, because we had a
hashtag or die, right or die.
We had Elena. We had Elena Farnsworth on. She runs Mobile Comply, and she actually got booked for the Super Bowl. She had 40 people, big red coats saying like Wi-Fi expert, because they wanted just like a vendor. She was there in every single section. There was somebody there with a big red coat. If you had problems getting online, they were trained to help you have a better user experience.
Beefeaters in front of like Buckingham Palace, like big red coats.
Gin, yeah, those kind. Yeah, big wool hats,
big giant hats,
giant wool. Yeah, and they couldn't talk. They could smile. Right.
So Mark, how are you keeping tabs on things? Like, how are you figuring out what the community wants /needs? Who there are. I mean, there are a lot of grassroots, groups, websites, that sort of stuff in the area. Like, who are you keeping tabs with, or keeping tabs on, and having conversations with to kind of make sure that you're not going the way of Comcast and AT&T and those who have horrifically failed the city before?
That's a great question. That's it.
I know. That's why I asked
it's a huge issue. The best way that we found to address that is boots on the ground. So we go all over. We'll meet with anyone or everyone that requests our time. Probably going to regret that now, going on your show and saying that we're going to get destroyed with emails now.
Yeah, you want boots on the ground. You don't want your pants on the ground.
Yeah. Went there. So we'll meet with organizations, and we're working with a lot of other partners. There's a lot of people that don't get the publicity that are doing great things in the city right now and have been for a long time. So it's not just a Rocket Fiber thing or issue. It's a lot of different groups all fighting the same fight, which is trying to figure out how to get internet to the citizens of Detroit. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, I mean, the best part about it is you're starting it completely greenfield. You guys have a book with no words in it yet. You can basically write your own chapter. You can basically, take it as it guides you, right? Create your own adventure book with fiber.
Do you get to keep your thumb on the page that you leave?
Yeah, exactly.
Just to be safe?
No, because there's no redo button on fiber.
None of them have any idea what we're talking
That's
about.
quite all right. I'm completely content with that.
Yeah, choose your own adventure book.
No, but again, you can basically let your customers guide where the company goes, and I think that those are the best. Especially in this kind of thing, there's no preconceived notions, there's no legacy infrastructure, there's no garbage.
No, I mean, and I know. I mean, it's been a topic that's been written about. The whole issue about the lack of internet access. I mean, it's been talked about on Daily Detroit. It's been talked about on one of our favorite names, Missionpreneur.
Missionpreneur.
It's been talked about. Throughout multiple areas throughout the site.
16 hours.
Exactly. We told her to register that. She still hasn't. So I mean, that's I guess that's where I was kind of going. Are there other grassroots groups out there? That Rocket is reaching out to how can we do this better?
Absolutely, and that's the conversations that we continue to have. I travel all over the city on a weekly basis to meet with some of these groups, and really for us it's all about listening, right? So we're not coming in and saying we know the answer to all the problems, because we don't. We're really just trying to listen and figure out what kind of the best strategy of working together with all these different organizations looks like, so that we can make at least a dent in this thing.
Well, and speaking of traveling all over the city, you were traveling all over earlier this evening and I feel like we have to give you a shout out for this, for the Cranes 20 in their 20s event that took place earlier tonight.
Oh, you're still in your 20s? Isn't that cute?
My nickname is older than appears, so all my partners. I get
objects are older than they appear in mirrors.
He's the only guy who goes to the store and gets the gray just for men.
Right.
I play flag football. We'll come play Detroit. Last week was the playoffs. Thursday, I think we played. I'm still sore. 4 or 5 days later, I'm still limping around.
I went on a major bender Friday night for a couple, for 2 different events and 4 different bars. Yeah, I'm still sore.
My cousin's a dentist.
That's our version of athletics.
Right.
My cousin's a dentist. He's a complete babyface, blonde hair. He was 33 years old, and he got his dental degree and opened a practice, and no one would see him because they didn't believe him because he looked like a little kid. So he had to grow out to this cheesy beard. And anyway, you can probably relate. But yeah, hey, we are coming up against a break. We're going to be back in segment 4 with the Daily Detroit team. We got Andrew, the man expert from the Dave and Chuck the Freak Show, hanging out with us. This is the IT and the D Show, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT and the D. All you nerds out there.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
And welcome back to the IT and the D Show, episode 98, the June 29th edition, segment 4, the Royal Rumble. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, always with, not always, but Dr. Hook Jeremiah from Daily Detroit's here.
Let's get ready.
Yeah, exactly. Find us online, itandthed.com, like us on the Facebooks, follow us on the Twitters, and download our app if you feel like it, but I won't make you.
If you dare.
Back that app up.
This segment is brought to you by Quantum Storage. Data deduplication, they've been around for about 25 years. Tape storage, all that good stuff. Find them online at quantum.com. Save some money.
They do good stuff.
They do.
All right, so where do we want to dive in?
Hold on a second.
Well, we got, there's a few.
Patrick feels the need to interject.
Why are we calling him Dr. Hook? It's always been Dr. J. Is this trademarked? Wait, what's Dr. Hook? Did I miss something?
Yeah. There might have been an incident at the birthday party.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, now you remember.
Oh yeah, I threw that birthday.
Right.
party.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dr. Hook, and we move on. So
So, if anyone, we actually had a few people recognize him. If you, any listeners of Dave and Chuck the Freak, we actually have Andrew the Man Expert hanging out in the studio. Has been here the whole time. Has been rather quiet.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
been
sitting in the
polite.
back, man.
You've been polite this whole time. Now,
Cuz, man, y'all was talking about stuff that scared me. I thought the police was. My man was talking about the internet going too fast. Is my porn faster? That's how you sell it, man. Like, I appreciate what you was doing. It was legit, but you lost a lot of the young crowd. You be like, how fast titties pop up on your screen? Like, no bumps and none of that.
1998, 3600 baud dial-up modem. An ASCII boob took like 8 minutes to load. Then you have 2002. You start to get better, and you're getting faster. And then now 2015. Yes, that's
who picked internet service, man? For real, it's them people's kids. You gotta figure out a way to do a commercial like you want to watch porno in the basement, and your mother come down the stairs, and you switch off fast, but then you can get right back to the video. Ain't got a buffer. Kids be asking for your
Well, he was talking about apps for the TV. That could be one.
You know how hard it is to toggle
Kid
back
flicks.
and forth, man? Your mom coming down them steps, and you got to toggle back to something that's stupid, the Target website or something, Kmart.com.
It's not like back in our day when we were just struggling to see a scrambled nipple.
No, scrambled nipples. Spice Channel, man.
You had to go to the other end of the
watch Cinemax, and then your mother come down the steps. You got to flip back to the Discovery Channel. You watching Seagulls at 1:45 in the morning. The documentary about
Love them seagulls.
I'm watching an educational documentary on Pocahontas and her impact on the revolutionary.
Came down them stairs with that laundry basket. You could be a billionaire, man. You just got to learn how to market it right.
Jimmy, you're watching Lifetime? It's a good movie. What are you going to do?
It's a new logo for Rocket Fiber. There's going to be a Schwanz in there somewhere. But
It is Rocket Fiber. That goes back to the Simpsons episode with the Internet King, right? When Homer started the company. It's like, the Internet King, I wonder if he can provide faster nudity.
Well, then we've talked about how many times have we had this conversation that basically every technological innovation that society has,
all of them,
it all comes back to porn.
All of them.
Who needed more bandwidth? Porn. Who needed credit card billing? Porn. Who needed recurring credit card billing? Porn. Who needed streaming audio? Porn.
Flash video.
Who needed streaming video? Porn. Who needed video on demand? Porn. Why do we have VHS and not Betamax? Porn. I mean, yeah. Why
does everybody want?
Why did Blu-ray beat HD? Porn.
Are you new here?
I know. I got my laptop fixed 2 months ago. The only thing I cared about, I came back and got it. He was like, "Sir, it's running fast. We did a virus protection." I was like, "Did you touch my favorites?" Because I can't remember that.
You didn't touch my. Did you look in my downloads folder?
With Rocket Fiber, you don't need to save them on your hard drive.
Yeah, Chris Hansen's not here, so no.
It's pictures of my grandma on there. She dead. I was like, "Listen, I ain't worried about them files. She had a full life." I can't remember what site Big Titties Amazon Girls was on. Did you touch my favorite? He was like, and the thing that's cool, he winked. He was like, "No, sir, I saved all your favorites." I was like, you looked at him. You looked at him.
We lost every Word document you ever had on this hard drive.
I don't care.
That's a secret.
But we saved your favorites, sir.
Those guys didn't just save his favorites. They went into his pictures folder and pulled everything on a USB. And all those guys have everyone.
How many stories have we talked about where that happened? Where yeah, Best Buy, the Geek Squad, or whoever else has pulled a copy.
Over.
My wife's listening. I'm going to throw her on the bus. We went to a wedding and we were like, "Hey, look at my kids' pictures on my phone. Look at my kids' pictures on my phone." So I hand the phone over to this couple, and all of a sudden they go to touch the phone. I go, "No flipping! No flipping!
No! You look at photo. No swipe left. No swipe right.
No.
Look. Move.
Someone told me there's an app that stops people from flipping because it's the worst thing. Like you hand the phone and you're scared to death. No, so don't swap. Just look at that one. Those are my kids.
And this is how I made photo.
Right.
Not all
These
the
are my
photos.
kids, and this is how I made them.
Right. Not all the photos that I accidentally synced with Google Plus that I freaked out about.
I did maybe
might have been. I had no idea what AutoSync was, and then I called Dave in a blind panic.
The worst person.
How do I delete cash? Yeah, my wife's boobs are on the internet. How do I stop that from happening?
Not.
Well, just give me like 5 minutes, and then I'll tell you.
No, they weren't public. I was like, I went to it because it said auto archive to Google Plus, and I'm like, shit. So I go to Google Plus, and it goes, these pictures are set to private. I'm like, thank God. For crying out
You're
loud.
making some Google engineer very, very happy.
And I turned that backup off that very minute. No backup for you. I do it my own way.
Facial recognition works for everything. I mean, you could tag a sandwich and call it whatever you want. So I guess I would work for boobs, right? Like booble recognition.
That needs to be a thing. Booble. Oh, that's already a thing, isn't it?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is too.
I feel like them the dudes that'll kill you. Like if you on the internet trying to remember the name of some titties, I feel like that dude gonna throw a girl in the basement and choke her to death with crackers under a door. I just gotta remember that girl.
That's right. That girl when I was 19 and she said no. Those are the ones that that's clown suit crawl space.
There's
backyard basement.
Look at your face. Call him that. you know somebody.
Stephanie is mortified.
Facebook.
You can't see this on the radio, but Stephanie is mortified.
Just shoot a note like "Hi, Merry
All
Christmas."
the ladies in the room are mortified right now.
I'm trying to save y'all life, man. Y'all better send a
Facebook
public service for y'all
right now.
Happy Thanksgiving. I would have went to homecoming, but my grandma died, man. I wanted to go with you though. That's all you got to do. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, he at the house like Ray Finkel and Ace Ventura, but just your picture on the wall. I'm telling you, I'm trying to save y'all lives, man. Look, you really scared. Don't worry about it.
I'm amused.
How in the ever-living hell do we recover from this? How do we? So, Jared, what's going on with Haley Detroit, dude?
Take a few steps back. You're welcome.
Actually, here's a great segue. Talking about awkward, inappropriate things on the internet. So, Jared, from my immediate recollection, there's a site that we all know and love that we because it's the site that will not be named Doucheline that took exception to how
Because I can't find a damn contact page.
Right, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember the exact context. It was you've lived in the city for all of 2 months. No,
Patrick, no.
No, I've lived in this city for 2 months.
Well, this is Patrick, so he was the subject of all this, so I'll let him speak for it.
I didn't have my khakis on.
Your media khakis.
Because apparently every suburban dad that I know in my life between the ages of like 32 and 55 qualifies as a journalist because wearing khakis is the important part of being a journalist.
You understand, I actually took the entire team out to shop for media khakis right afterward.
Can you buy those at the Gap?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that a section? Media
No, we got them at Meijer right next to the dad shirt.
Yeah, let's just go to Meijer.
I'm very upset that you're not wearing them right now. So
Chinos for everybody.
Where's your media khakis, Erica?
I'm sorry.
Even on the radio, you better have your media khakis.
Well, now I know.
So and it was an interesting turn of events that y'all were like just trying to provide some interesting coverage over something that I unleashed you on. Sorry.
Right. Well, and then they all go and say, well, Metro Times did it. No, it's Dave.
Yeah, no, it's Dave.
It's Dave. Sorry, can't give MT that credit. It's Dave.
I mean, what we really did was we went down to cover this story about the Tangerine Room getting evicted from the building that's owned by Atwater Brewery. And we caught a lead on the story from Metro Times. We were sitting around. We said, hey, why don't we show up and see actually what this is about? Let's go tell the story of what's going on here. So we came down and we just left our office. We didn't have our media khakis on, unfortunately. I know, big, huge gaffe. And we went down and we met the gentleman.
Not wearing the required uniform.
Exactly. And we talked to the gentleman, who owned the Tangerine Room, and we met him. He was a very nice fellow, and he said, "You know what? Everybody should be showing up in about half an hour or so." and it was 5:30, which was when it was supposed to start, I think, and so we waited about 45 more minutes.
And that's when Jer started shooting us updates.
Right.
We are now at the 30-minute mark. Here's the protest.
Yeah.
Two people outside that have no idea what the hell's going on.
Didn't look like anybody was
Here's the 45-minute mark.
Didn't look like anybody
Same
was
two
going to
people.
show up. Right, exactly. So it's about 6:15, and all of a sudden, there's about 15 people sitting around, and
none of whom, for the record, were Al Sharpton, which was what was promised.
Exactly. The Metro Times article said that Al Sharpton was going to show up. They changed the headline later on, but it said there's Al Sharpton. There's a good possibility that Al Sharpton's going to show up. Now, we were checking his tweets shortly after the protest. It seemed that he was actually in D.C.
Starts with the D, close.
Exactly. So about 15 people are milling around. It's not a big deal. There's no other news people there besides a guy from Channel 7, and he was kind of waiting for something to happen too. He had a video camera, and it was about like the size of the people at a barbecue, and so we're standing around, and we'd introduced ourselves to. What was it?
It sounds like I had bigger protests having the neighbors over in my backyard. Is what you're getting
exactly.
at.
It was like.
And let's be honest, Patrick's 6'6". It's not like he was sneaking up on anybody.
More people protest at the end of the McRib, but let's get something straight.
So we said, hey, we're from Bailey, Detroit. We're just waiting around to cover this. And all of a sudden, they struck up with hi ho, Atwater's got to go. And we were like, all right, here we go. Here's the protest. And
were they actually like acknowledging a prostitute that was in the area, or was that just part of the chant?
I mean, no, I mean that was the beginning, and we weren't even sure. I mean, honestly, there were so few people there at first that we weren't even sure that the group of people that was there was the group that was going to be protesting. But
there might have been a rapidly placed Craigslist ad.
And
why don't you go PCU and just start going, we're not going to protest, and just get everyone to start chanting, we're not going to protest. See, to me, that would have been way more funny than actually covering a story as a journalist. What's wrong with you?
It was really just meant to be a quick thing. We were just going to get a picture, grab a quote from somebody, and get out of there, really was the whole point. And the owner of the Tangerine Room was, he was really cool. And he was just like, yeah, it's about to kick off. So it kicked off, and there we were. Jeremiah was there with his camera.
Not an iPhone.
Not your iPhone.
Nope.
Not an iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
a large Canon DSLR. Actually,
I had the voice recorder in my hand, and I turned it on, and as soon as Jeremiah lifted up his camera. One person, this tall dude, kind of wearing a red jumpsuit, whips out his camera phone and basically is like point blank from Jeremiah and I filming us as we're trying to do our job. And it was
he was filming you, filming them.
Right. It was like, we're gonna film you taking pictures, and it was just like super bizarre, and we're like, we're just here to literally grab one or two.
Like
pictures.
I want your story. So if you would put your phone down and tell me about what you're doing here, that would be awesome.
And so so on the story, there's so this guy's like literally he's about 2 feet away from me. I mean, he's right up in my face, and so I'm holding my voice recorder, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, could you give me a quote about what's going on here? And he wouldn't even acknowledge me, and he was just yelling it back at me. I don't want to interact with you. I'm not going to talk to you and all this stuff like that. And it was just really sort of odd and aggressive, considering that we're there actually trying to get their point.
But you weren't wearing media khakis.
You're staging a protest, the entire point of which one would think would be to get your message out. And so if there's people there with voice recorders and cameras, that might be who you want to talk to. I mean, call me crazy.
Right. Well, there was nobody else there. I mean, we were the only people. We were literally the only media outlet who actually cared enough to show up.
What suburb are you from?
I live in Detroit right now.
I know you say you're from the suburbs. What suburb are you from?
In high school, I moved to Birmingham
All right, let me save your career. You from Birmingham. Listen, seriously, you about to get over it.
Okay, let's go.
We have a plethora of bums downtown.
A plethora?
That will do anything for $5. Al Sharpton one day I'd have grabbed one of them bums and permed his hair and be like, listen, I'm going to put this trench coat on you. You Al Sharpton for the next 30 minutes. You're going to start rhyming. You're going to take your homeless ass in front of this protest and you write him a couple smooth bars. You're going to rhyme this. You would have had Al Sharpton on tape. Al could have been like, I wasn't there. Nobody believe Al Sharpton crazy ass. You would have had Al Sharpton live with a bottle of Wild Turkey in his hand and a trench coat. A can of Duke costs like $2, man. You could have went in any Lee Beauty Supply, grabbed a can of Sporting Waves, whipped up a bum's Dew real quick. You would have had Al Sharpton live.
We have a new special media consultant for Daily Detroit.
I mean, hired. Looking back, like I'm saying, like we were the only ones there. We could have had Al Sharpton. I mean, we could have made Al Sharpton.
Could have had 5 Al Sharptons, man.
Exactly.
You could have the Sharp Tones.
Clone Wars, Al Sharpton style.
Al and the Sharp Tones. If that was me,
Al and the Sharp Tones.
I got Jesse Jackson. I'd had everybody. If that was me, man, Jesse Jackson is here. So is Harry Tubman. We got I'd have had everybody.
Rosa Parks is parked over
Everybody's
there.
here. Giving all the quotes would have been not the best, but you would have been. I'm telling you, your career would have took off, man.
Well, I mean, it would have been better than what went down. I mean, basically, what happened was, we were basically sort of run off the scene by these people, and nobody in the group said, "Hey, wait a minute,"
Because the last thing you want when you're staging a protest is for people to hear what you're protesting about. That's the last thing you want.
Nobody in the group said, "Wait a minute, let's let these guys do their thing." They're on, we're really there just trying to, get the word out about what's going on. I mean, we're not on anybody's side. We're trying to tell the story of what's happening.
What was they chant again? What was the chant they was using?
They were like, it was like, hey ho, Atwater's got to
The
go.
worst chant downtown Detroit. All the brothers was down there like, where's she at? Who they talking about?
Right, exactly.
You know how many dudes was looking for the girl?
I heard a hoedown was going on downtown. I thought a hooker got shot.
Hey ho, somebody gotta go. See?
Yeah.
Right then, all the police was looking for some pimp yelling at a girl.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and the cops.
Watch the movie Wildcats and get better
actually,
chance than that.
It was just a big. It ended up being a big. It was really like. It was sort of a non-story. There wasn't really anything that we could take away from it that was any good, and we couldn't even really get a good picture because somebody was in the camera's face the whole time. And, basically, we got a quote from the guy who owned the place, and what he ended up saying was...
You should be wearing khakis.
What he ended up saying was that, this group is here, and, my goal is to raise awareness that I got, evicted, and they haven't given me my key back in 4 weeks. And he said, this group has their own agenda. And we said, okay. And he said, and then he kind of walked away. There wasn't really much else to say. And then we walked back, we let them go into Atwater, and they did their thing, and we kind of hung back. And then the group sort of came back our way, and instead of saying, hey, who are you guys? We saw you talking to the owner. It was more like, okay, you guys need to get out of here still. And they pulled out their phones again, and they're still filming us and yelling at us,
Yelling at
us to kind of get away from the area. Like we
ain't got no authority, man. You got to boss
unwanted.
up. You got to get rid of ethics, man. If that was me, I'd have got some Coke 45, got them bums drunk. 5 minutes from now, I'd have been like, we reporting live in front of Coney Island. We got Harry Tubman wrestling Jesse Jackson to the ground. It's going down right now. It's a Civil War. It's the Civil Rights Royal Rumble. It would have been. You could have been in the middle of that, tagging people in. It was like the Thundercats was fighting out there. If that was me, yeah. I mean, it's a messed up.
Lion-O's here. No, but then you write a blog about this, and you get lambasted by like a pseudo.
So we wrote a blog about. I was compelled to write about it, and I think that anybody who was a reporter or a writer or a blogger or a journalist, I think anybody who would have experienced that would have wrote about it in one way or another.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, right. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it was a compelling moment. I mean, here you are trying to do your job. You're supposed to be on the side of the people, and you're getting treated like an a-hole when you're just there to amplify what's going on, and that's what a protest is about. A protest is by nature a public act. I mean, you can't protest in your backyard. It's not a protest.
You kind of can, just no one's going to listen to you.
It's called a barbecue.
It's or a tantrum. So
that's called House Party 2.
Yeah.
The Pajama Jammy Jam is what that is. Yeah,
and the other thing is, it's just that's not my experience in Detroit. That's never happened before. Like every time I've gone to show up to something, whether it's in a neighborhood or in downtown or at a church
and you've written a lot of stories in the neighborhood too.
Absolutely, at a block club. If you're a storyteller, I mean, people need that. You're welcomed, and it's the first time that's ever happened.
But the best part about this entire situation is that along comes, shall we name him?
No.
Meh. Skippy McDouche-a-lot, who basically says, you guys need to get your collective shit together because you weren't wearing khakis. And so if you weren't wearing the uniform, clearly you shouldn't be taken seriously as journalists. When, honestly,
Danny Redford, Gawker Media?
Yeah, everything he accused you of being was kind of the good parts of what you guys are trying to do. Like, it was, you guys are trying to do good, positive stories about the city. You guys are trying to do the real insight on what's going on. You guys are trying to be kind of man on the street doing your thing.
It's super easy to criticize. It's way harder to do.
Right.
I never see him at press releases or at
knows
press
that you made
conferences
it.
or out there on the streets.
When you got buttholes like that trashing on you, it kind of tips you off that you made it. I'm just
it's like if I've said it once, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing anything at the end of the day.
True.
Which is why I'm so glad we make so many people mad.
It's amazing. So hey, we are wrapping things up.
We are. God, screw us.
We had this is a fun show. They're getting better and better every week, I swear to God. So I'd like to thank Victoria from Hatch Detroit for hanging out with us, Mark Hudson from Rocket Fiber, Andrew the Man Expert. We didn't ask you how you got that nickname, and we'll save it for another show. But appreciate
third grade.
Appreciate you hanging out.
Wait, you got the nickname the Man Expert in third grade? Was Chris Hansen involved?
Teachers was doing.
Why don't you have a seat?
And then Dr. Hook and Patrick from Daily Detroit. Always a pleasure having you guys on. And hey, on behalf of myself, Bob, and Dave, appreciate you hanging out with us at IT and the D Show. We will see you next week.
We will see you Wednesday.
In person. You'll hear us next week, and you'll see us Wednesday.
But Wednesday.
Just remember.
Whiskey Parlor.
Yeah, whiskey, yeah.
Above Grand Trunk.
We'll see you there.
We'll be.
Yeah. So drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here.
Right.
This is another episode of the IT and the D Show. Beat it.
See it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life?
Good
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Vlad. You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy. Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet?
Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.